guys, another round of comments. Sorry, I've been really busy and happy that I've, I've been able to review cars, and just did the Porsche Speedster, and beautiful car in the flesh. Uh, anyway, let's go. Quick one, Mr. Muhammad Ashraf. Hi Bobby, tomorrow is my judgment day. Civic 1.8S or Honda HR-V. Both cars are about 110,000, right? You might not know, but if you add 10,000 more, just 10. I mean, it's a loan, right? It's not a cash buy, right? You can actually get a CX-5 now, the 2-liter Skyactiv. It's a larger car, a class above, and the build quality is just beautiful. I would say overall it is a better car for only 10,000 more. So that is an option. As for between the Civic and the HR-V, I think you can hardly fault an HR-V, right? It's more spacious, it's more practical, it has the same engine, and yeah, I would pay that 10,000 and go for the CX-5, to be honest, because I would think that that is a car that you can use for a longer period of time, because it is, I mean, HR-V is one segment below the CX-5, and generally after people used to drive C segment sedans, if they don't want to upgrade to a D segment big sedan, they would upgrade next to a C segment SUV. So if you are someone who is okay with a crossover like a HR-V or a C segment sedan, you might even be better off with a C segment SUV like a CX-5. Very sharp handling, drives really well, fuel efficient, high quality interior, and I'm not sure about this, but there are some. I just stumbled upon a Facebook page, a Facebook group of Honda owners complaining about their cars. It's huge if you go in there, but of course there are people who say that their cars are alright as well. So yeah, up to you. Alright. Okay, second. Hi Bobby, which is better, for the Continental GT and Flying Spur, W12 or the V8? Now the V8 in the Continental GT and the Flying Spur is the 4-liter V8 that has been widely used in the VAG group, right? It is used in the Panamera Turbo, the Cayenne Turbo, the Audi RS6, Audi S8, Lamborghini Urus, and that's a fantastic engine, to be honest. It's wonderful, but there is a distance between how it pulls versus how the W12 pulls. The W12 is something. It is something, you can immediately tell the difference in terms of performance. It's a whole other level, okay? But of course the W12 doesn't have the classic, V12 sound. It also doesn't have that burble sound of the V8. I would say it is, for cylindrical count, it still makes sound. I mean, no questions about it, but it's not the familiar one that we have with 12 cylinders, higher pitch, or the burble of V8s. Anyway, performance-wise, W12 murders the V8. Okay. Hi Bobby, thank you so much for your video and insight. Oh, this is someone who was watching my BMW drivetrain malfunction video. which I tell people don't freak out. It could just be the spark plugs, you know, or the coil packs. Anyway, hi, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for suggesting a used Mini for my sister. I have a follow-up question. I query a Mini Facebook group. Got offered a used Mini R56 for 49,000. If I ask to nego for 42, so that I can put aside around 8,000 for wear and tear, is that a good bargaining offer, or I harshly undervalue the car? Can you estimate me how much I should push down the price? Now, this is something that is I'm not sure about the year of make that, or which model you are looking at, because there are quite a few models. There's the standard Mini Cooper 1.6 without turbo. There is those with the Mini Cooper S with turbo. There's Clubman. There's 3-door and all that. But generally, if the seller is asking 49,000, if he go to a dealer, the dealer might offer him 35 or 38. So I think if you are dealing with a private seller, you negotiate to 42. I think it's fine. If he has already if whatever he's asking is below the bank value or is fully paid for, I think he's fine with it. Try it. I mean, it's a buyer's market now. All right. No, I was telling people that the Speedster's emblem is a sticker because it's lighter, and he's asking why is it not a sticker on the steering wheel, because it'll feel rather cheap, right? Things that you can touch, it should be something of quality, because at the end of the day, this is still a car that is 630,000 US dollar in Malaysia. Mad price. Hi Bobby, is this the 2-liter TFSI with the 245 horsepower engine? He's referring to the A5. I think it's the 252 horsepower engine. Alright. Hi Bobby, you're the man. I enjoyed every single video. Thanks for making. Thank you. Sorry, those are just normal responses on my videos, so I'm trying to look through to get some questions so I can answer. Hi, is there a warning to prevent curbing the wheels? He's referring to the Volvo S60 T8. Well, there aren't any, but you shouldn't curb your wheels. Alright. Hi Bobby, does the wing mirrors automatically close on the Peugeot 208 when you lock the car? I can't recall, I'm sorry. I really can't recall. Hi Bobby, isn't this car too hot to drive in Malaysia? He's referring to the Elise Cup 250. Well, as long as the air conditioner works. Yeah. Hi Bobby, the Lamborghini Urus has frameless doors. Yeah man, when I was reviewing the Maserati Levante Trofeo, somehow my brain just couldn't pick up the Lamborghini Urus, the DBX, and the Audi Q8. I just can't think of any SUVs that has the frameless doors. But come to think of it, right? Only when I came back and look around the prices and all that, the Levante Trofeo costs almost as much. Not almost, it is still slightly cheaper, but in that context, There's little difference. I mean, when you're buying a 1.8 or 1.9 million ringgit car, that's not too big of a difference. For 200,000, the Levante Trofeo cost as much as a Lamborghini Urus. Ouch, that is costly, man. And Maserati did not do themselves any favor by launching a 3-liter diesel version of the Levante. Not in Malaysia, but Recon dealers brought it in. Or was it launched in Malaysia? I'm not sure. Okay, hi Bobby. Between this and the Peugeot 3008, which car would you choose? He's referring to the Subaru Forester. Now the thing is this, I highly adore Subarus. Alright, there's no questions about it. I've owned a Subaru before. They are exceptionally reliable. They have a fantastic, I always call them mechanically premium. That means they don't have a premium interior, but whatever that goes underneath the car is premium in a way. As in the suspension, you know, the arms and all that. It is what we call in Malaysia language tahan lasak, as in they can take huge abuse. Alright, but if you were to ask me to use the Subaru Forester as a day-to-day car versus a Peugeot 3008, I would actually prefer the 3008 because it is prettier, it has a more stylish cabin, it makes me feel I'm in year 2020, whereas the Subaru Forester feels exactly the same as the Subaru Forester back in 2008 or 2009, right? They literally didn't change much in terms of design, and even when they tried to, like adding body kits and all that, right, is the usual Subaru style, you know. Either they go all out gaudy, or it already looks gaudy. It is a car that you wouldn't look at it and go like, wow, that's beautiful. But the same thing is with the Honda CRV, you know. It's not a pretty car, but because of the image of the car, the familiarity of mentioning Honda CRV, people don't judge how it looks. People will just say, yeah, it's good looking, but where in fact it's not a good looking car. A good looking car is something like a CX-5, right? Well designed, good looking car. These kind of cars with very overtly aggressive design, you know, like the RAV4, the CRV, the Forester, they're just overtly aggressive without a direction, you know. Large side bumper, lower intakes or fake intakes, you know, huge mouths and all that. The eyes all look like that and all that. It's just whoa, you know, to me. So yeah, between the Forester and the 3008, if it is day to day, I would choose the 3008. If I know I need to do off-road and all that, rough driving, going to the farms and all that, I would definitely go with the Forester, you know. The Peugeot will not be able to take any abuse, won't be able to go off-road, even though there's an off-road mode, compared to a Subaru Forester, which you can abuse, fly over speed bumps. Alright, hi Bobby, I'm very happy with my Continental CC6. I'm happy with the rubber. And it's very quiet. Every new tire is quiet, be mindful. Hi Bobby, is the recent sales tax exemption applicable for pre-owned or used cars? Now, for those of you who aren't sure what's the sales tax, cars in Malaysia go through 3 taxes. I mean, yeah, if it is CBU, you have an import tax, okay? And then you have the excise duty. The excise duty is on every single car, whether it's CBU, whether it's fully imported or assembled locally. Excise duty is about 75% of the car's value, but of course, if it is assembled locally, they can negotiate with the government by means of how much local components they are using, what is their total investment and all that they contribute back to Malaysia. And then once all these are calculated, they have a final price, and then that final price is taxed again for a 10% sales tax. So after this whole COVID-19 thing, the car sales has pummeled, and the Malaysian government announced that they will waive sales tax for locally assembled car, and then or full 10%. They will waive it, and they will waive half, which is 5%, of fully imported cars, which is a big deal in a way, because car prices in Malaysia aren't cheap, and having 10% knocked off, which is really, really good. But be mindful, let's say the car's final price is 100,000. It is not 100,000 minus 10%. It is the previous value where they arrive at, that added 10% and arriving at 100,000. So let's say the car is 91,000, and the 10% sales tax is about 9,000, so it added up as 100,000. But when you take out the 10% sales tax, it's the 9,000 that is removed, not the 100,000 minus 10%. Be mindful of that. Okay. Blah blah blah. Someone is mentioning about the Levante Trofeo's interior, which I agree. It doesn't reflect a 1.8 or 1.9 million interior. It looks rather generic for premium cars. Okay. Blah blah blah. Hi Bobby. Audi R8 V8 or a Porsche Carrera 2S 2007. My uncle is looking for a sports car, blah blah blah. His budget is about 150 to 250,000. Do note that he's only interested in sports cars. I mean, he mentioned higher segment, but I think he meant sports cars, because he said he's not interested in A45s or C63s. Basically, he's not interested in the normal cars performance variant. He wants a sports car which used to cost a million ringgit, and then has come down in prices. Now I really think the Audi R8 V8 is underrated. It is a fantastic car. It sounds fantastic. It looks fantastic. I mean, it looks way more modern than a 2007. I mean, a 2008 Audi R8. It looks way more modern than a 2007 Porsche Carrera. Okay, so and I would say a 4.2 V8 is more special in terms of its sound and the level of exoticness, because you see the engine at the back cover, the beautiful engine assembly at the back, even though it's a 4.2 V8. It's a mid-engine car. You have the glass on top, and then you can see the engine, and the engine is sculpted beautifully, and it makes 420 horsepower compared to, let's say, a 3.6 six-cylinder Carrera 2S. Even though perhaps the Porsche is nicer to drive for a professional, but for a normal human being, I would recommend the R8, because I think the R8 is very underrated. It is a fantastic car. It looks great. It is a proper exotic car in terms of its layout, a mid-engine layout, and I mean, you pick a Lamborghini from 2008, the Gallardo, looks like crap now compared to the R8, right, in terms of design. Or you pick a Ferrari 430, Okay, this is arguable, but when you open the doors, you look at the interior of the Ferrari, and then you look at the R8. You know, the R8 looks brilliant. Yeah, and if you can find a manual, woohoo! Okay. Um, why are you comparing a Maserati to a Porsche? They are from two different worlds. I have owned both brands, and the Maserati brakes all the time, where the Porsche doesn't. Now, segments of cars don't differentiate themselves when one brakes and one doesn't, right? Because no matter how reliable your Porsche is, the moment I bring a Lexus in, there's no argument already, right? So to me, they both rather occupy the same price point, the same kind of prestige or exclusivity. But when it comes to exclusivity, there's no challenge, right? Porsches are everywhere, everywhere. Yeah. All right. Hi. As a CRV owner, there's no way it is slower than a CX-5. You should turn off the TCS, turn off the eco mode, brake boosted, brake boost. Clearly the CX-5 have used brake boosting. Dude, the car that we are drag racing with, the CX-5 is a 2.5 turbo. The CRV is a 1.5 turbo. There's no challenge. The CX-5 2.5 turbo is, for me, too fast. Yeah, for what it is lah. Alright? Hi Bobby, what is your personal preference between a Range Rover Sport versus a Maserati Levante? Personal personal preference, I think it would be the Velar, not the RR Sport. RR Sport for me is a bit like an XC90, you know, big, roly-poly. Whereas I think in the mountain roads, the Maserati Levante would leave the RR Sport for